Hello, everybody, and welcome to Reviews That Don't Matter with Jessica Hitt. My name is Jessica Hitt. On today's episode, we are talking about Steven Spielberg's latest. That is Ready Player One, which I finally got to see. I meant to see it last weekend, but Mama had to work all weekend. Now, look, I'm going to be straightforward. I have not seen a lot of Steven Spielberg's latest films. I didn't watch The Post. I didn't watch BFG. I'm sorry for not contributing to that box office. I think the last movie that he's directed that I've seen was probably Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But, of course, I have kept up with his executive producing gig, which, he did Terra Nova several years ago, which I still think is fantastic, even though it got half a season and canceled at Fox. So mad about that. He produced Super 8, which I really liked Super 8, and a couple of other shows that I really liked, Falling Skies, the first season of Smash, a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of TV stuff that I actually really enjoyed, and I think that he likes to take risks in TV by producing and putting out stuff that he wants to put out, which doesn't always work. It really doesn't, but sometimes it works really well. And to be quite honest, his directing stuff hasn't exactly excited me lately. There was something about The Post that just didn't quite really get me. I just really, I'll watch it eventually, but I just didn't care about it. BFG is similar. I remember the book. I don't really remember the actual insides of the book. I'm pretty sure I read it, but I don't remember anything about the story. And again, nothing excited me about it. And to be honest, I haven't seen Lincoln or War Horse or Bridge of Spies, any of those. So yeah, it's been a while since I've experienced Steven Spielberg being Steven Spielberg. And even though Kingdom of the Crystal Skull gets a lot of crap, I reviewed the movie. Yes, it's not a great movie, but I actually do kind of enjoy it a little bit. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says. Yes, it could have been so much better, and yeah, I don't think we needed the movie at all, and I'd be totally happy without it, but I don't think that it was like the absolutely worst thing. To be honest, I think it's a better film than Temple of Doom. Putting that out there, if you want my views, go watch those reviews. I did them like a year ago, so you can find them somewhere in the Pantheon. Anyway, also, I'm the type of kid who obviously, well, most kids really, grew up on that sort of Jurassic Park, E.T. type of Steven Spielberg where he put up these blockbusters. He invented the genre of blockbuster. He invented Jaws, and that was the very first blockbuster. He also gave you The Goonies, which he didn't direct, but he did write the story, and The Goonies is one of my favorite movies ever, if not my favorite movie. Yeah, it's not my favorite movie, but it's up there. It's top 5 for me, Goonies is. And this kind of felt like a return to form Ready Player One did. And I personally really, really liked the movie. Now, I am literally coming off of it. I watched it an hour ago is when it ended, and I'm filming this now. So I'm not I didn't get to marinate in the film. I don't have these questions, and maybe I'm not overthinking certain parts, but as leaving the film, while I'm watching it, I really enjoy it. I liked the spectacle of it. I thought it was a really cool way to do a movie, but also a really cool story, and I understand it's a book, which I actually just went and bought the book so I can read it, but I can totally see why Steven Spielberg gravitated towards this project in general. I think the cast was great. I think Ben Mendelsohn plays a really good villain, maybe a little two-dimensional at times, but it's Ben Mendelsohn, so I personally don't think you can go wrong with him. Also, I love Ty Sheridan. I really, really like him. He plays Cyclops in X-Men Apocalypse, which, say what you want about the movie, I personally really like the new kids. And I can't wait to see what they do with Dark Phoenix, premiering this next February. And I really do think that Ty Sheridan has a lot of heart and soul that he puts into these movies, and I can definitely see him becoming a sort of, to be honest, I see him kind of becoming a Jake Gyllenhaal type of actor. And then you had as a second co-lead was Olivia Cooke. And this is the first movie I actually saw of hers, and I kept thinking, God, she looks so familiar. And I remember her from the trailers of Thoroughbreds and also Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, which I've always wanted to see, but I just have not gotten around to it. And so I am really intrigued by her as an actress, and I think she plays this great character in Artemis, where she is just like a really strong female character who's not afraid to be female, but also not afraid to really put her life on the line. And I also really like the story of Percival, who is Ty Sheridan's character, Wade Watts, I believe is his real name, his real life name. I liked his journey throughout the movie, where it starts with him just enjoying the oasis and, trying to find these keys and this final Easter egg, so that way, they could be in control of the oasis and get a whole bunch of money and blah, blah, blah. And he's just this kid who's really just having fun, not really putting himself too much out there, but he's really good at it. And then he starts to kind of figure it out a little bit. He gets the first key, and then some stuff happens. It escalates really fast from the bad guys of IOI. I believe that's what it is, IOI. They really just defeated themselves in this movie, to be quite honest, because it really lit a fire under Percival's butt and got him really going to where they can get the second key and eventually to the third key. And one thing I also will say is this whole journey of getting these keys, I liked the checkpoints. I liked how you went about getting these keys, how it's never straightforward and you had to think outside the box. And I'm kind of trying to figure it out as we go as well, even though obviously I don't have the Halliday library of memories that I could go through and try to figure it out by myself. But I could definitely, if this was real, which eventually it will be real, if it was real, I would definitely try to be one of these people who's tracking down this thing. But I will say, not reading the book beforehand, I definitely got the feeling that I was missing out on some stuff that maybe, if I read it, I could connect the dots a lot easier, kind of in the Harry Potters, where I'm always explaining to my friends who have not read the book exactly what they're missing for it. And so that's why I went out and bought the book to read and kind of see where they deviated. And also, I didn't really want to go into this movie being super judgy about it. I made the mistake of going into the third Harry Potter movie, Prisoner of Azkaban, after I read the book. And it ruined my experience. I still hate the film to this day because it is my favorite of the books. It was also the first one of the Harry Potter books that I read. And so then I had to learn to kind of let go of my feelings for the books and just enjoy the movies. And so that's kind of where I was coming from with the Ready Player One. I hadn't really decided if I was going to read it yet. It was really... Let's be real, this is up my alley. I love this type of stuff. Fantasy, sci-fi-ish, pop culture, Stranger Things type of thing. I really like this type of stuff. And I've heard about this book for a really long time. My old roommates love it. And so I was kind of waiting to see how I enjoyed the movie to get the book, and therefore, I got the book right after it. So I do think that this movie is better on a big screen, very similar to Valerian in a way where, visually speaking, it does make the experience better. I don't think that Ready Player One is something that is bad on a small screen at all, waiting for Redbox or any of that. I would suggest you guys go out to the movie theater and see this, especially because considering in the next couple weeks leading up to Avengers Infinity War, you don't have too much, so spend your money on this one, I think. I would say that this is probably a better film than Valerian is, even though I love Valerian. I've had a lot more time to think about that, however, whereas this one, I think within the couple months, I will want to see it again, and I will definitely, appreciate it maybe a little bit more. And that is really coming from Steven Spielberg's eyes. He is the greatest. Let's be real. He's the greatest. I think maybe a couple of the story points I wasn't so invested in, or I was oh, well, how are they getting from this point to this point type of thing, or that's a little aggressive. I don't know. There was a couple moments where maybe when I read the book, it'll make a little bit more sense, a little bit more backstory. But as a movie in general, I really enjoyed it, and I can let go of a lot of the stuff. I don't think this is a thinker. I think it's just a really fun movie that I visually really liked. I liked the story. I liked the characters a lot. I really liked the characters. I teared up at the end. I didn't full out cry. And, I would definitely see this again, and I would recommend this to anybody who likes these sort of blockbuster Steven Spielberg films. I think this is a return to form. It also did pretty good for opening weekend for doing 56 or something like that, which Steven Spielberg films in general, not speaking of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which made over $100 million. This is pretty average for a lot of his blockbusters, and it really just depends second week on where we go, because it could completely drop off like AI did, or it could be very, very good, like Jurassic Park or any of those types of films. So overall, I'm pretty ecstatic about this movie coming out of it. I don't know how I'm going to feel in a week. I don't know how I'm going to feel in a month, but I can definitely see myself wanting to go and watch this again. Maybe bring somebody. I would go see this in the theater again. I really would. I'd go on Tuesdays for Tightwad Tuesdays, so I get a discount on my ticket like I did today. But I think it's worth it. I really enjoyed it a lot. Okay, everybody, I hope you guys liked this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what are your thoughts on Ready Player One. Please no spoilers for the people who haven't seen it just yet. Wait maybe a little while before you do some spoilers. Also, don't forget to subscribe. I make videos Monday through Friday for the most part. And I guess I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.